What it is, YouTube? It's your boy Nixie coming back with another bullseye of a video here today on the channel, another studio top video. I wanted to ask you guys, what are you struggling with in your mixes? Do you think your mixes are bad? And why do you think they're bad? Personally, myself, I never ever tried to act like somebody that knows absolutely everything on YouTube. Like I never tried to act like I know everything because I understand that music is infinite. Any person that tries to act like they've got it all figured out in music is a lie, because even somebody like me who, like, I do videos every day, I give like so much knowledge, it seems like I have so much gems, I still be struggling myself when it comes to like me trying to mix my own music. I feel like the difference between people who are successful and are not are the people who, keep trying and trying and trying because until they get the outcome that they want for the song, versus other people who just get frustrated and quit. Because a lot of the times music can be frustrating. It's almost like having an itch that you can't scratch because the sound is inside of your head and you're trying to figure out how to get the sound to come from inside of your head into the speakers, type of situation. So that kind of brings me to the first point, which is speakers. I remember the first song that I ever like really mixed down. I thought I did it on Dr. Dre's the Beats headphones, and I was like, man, this thing just sound great. I'm great. I feel like I'm a beast at mixing. Little did I know those headphones already have built-in EQ. It's more like a type of headphone where you use it to listen to a beat. It's like for consumers, like it's for pleasure listening. So I was thinking I was mixing on it, and I was like, man, this shit sounds so good. And I went into the car and it sounded horrible. Sounded like I had no bass and no high end because the headphones already had an equalizer inside of them. So the same thing kind of runs with in terms of speakers. You can't really get a good sound if you don't know what you're really listening to. It's like walking inside of a dark room trying to navigate yourself. You're just slipping and falling and tripping and falling on your ass, on your head, but you don't really know where you're going. You feel me? So it's not always about having the most expensive speakers. I think it's always about having speakers that fit you, that you understand, that you like, that like the back of your hand. Because you could have like speakers that cost like a bunch of money, right? But if you don't fully understand them, it's like you can't take advantage of them. It's like you have a F1 sports car, but you don't know how to whip that thing. You don't know how to drift on that thing, so you don't really know how to whip it and get it up to that top speed like a professional racer like Lewis Hamilton. If you put him in a bus, you put him in a Ford F-150, because he knows how to drive, he could probably just whip that thing and blow past you, even though the other car is slower. You feel me? So it's like a situation like that too. So why do you guys think your mixes are not sounding up to par? What do you think is holding you back from getting that pro mainstream sounding mix? I think the monitoring is a very important situation because most people's monitors are not good. I currently use a Neumann 750 subwoofer with the KH80s. And even though that's not like the most expensive and highest brand of speaker, the thing about it is I like those speakers because they fit the style that I like, which is neutral. Don't boost the top end, don't boost the low end, don't boost the mid range. Give it to me flat, plain Jane Haagen-Dazs vanilla. Just give me vanilla ice cream and I'll pick my toppings. Give me a plain pizza. I'll put what I want to put on that thing. You feel me? So sometimes it's all about that too. Maybe the speakers that you're listening to are giving you a false interpretation of what's there. So because you can't really hear it, you can't really mix it. I always recommend having a different pair of speakers that you record with than different headphone speakers, headphones that you record with and you mix with, and also have a maybe like a good speaker that you just know, you listen to music on it every day and you know it like the back of your hand. So now when you make mixed decisions, you don't got to always run into the car. How many times do you guys run into the car to go listen to a mix? Because I remember back in the day, I used to do that so much. I used to never trust myself. I used to only trust the car until one day I said, fuck it. I took the laptop, I just brought that bitch into the car, and I just took an cord and I literally plugged it in there and I just started mixing songs in the car. Just because I just did not trust the speaker so much that's what I did. I would just aux plug in, go on FL Studio on my aggregate device. I would put it to MacBook speakers as my output, and I would just mix all of my songs in the car type shit like that, just because I could. I But then I realized that, okay, it's not the fact that the car speaker is better than the speakers that I have in the inside studio. It's just the fact that I know the car speakers. So it's all about having a monitoring setup that you know, that you understand. Also, what is another reason that you guys think that your music might not be sounding good? Sometimes it's because you need an outside opinion. That's why it's good to honestly have a engineer. Even though I know like a lot of stuff about mixing and I do it like for real, and I've been doing it for so many years, I don't even try to like mix my own shit. I just get another engineer to mix my stuff. Oh, that's blasphemous. You got another engineer mixing your stuff, Nick? Hell yeah. Shout out to that boy Mixed by L. I think I worked with him before too. He's a great engineer. Even like Playback Studios, I've been working with them boys for years too. But like a lot of times it's hard to separate yourself from the music when you're the artist and the engineer. Some people try to do everything. They try to make beats, they try to do everything, and that's tough because you only have so much creative energy. It's like physical energy. Creative energy and physical energy is all energy, like kinetic and potential energy and shit, right? So you only got so much creative energy. It's only a matter of time for you burn yourself out and you feel like you tired as hell, and you can't contribute anymore. And sometimes you might make a beat, you put everything into the beat, now it's time to rap over this shit, and you just shoot in the blank, you just don't have no more to give, you don't have no more in you, so it's a situation like that too. So what is the main thing that you think is holding you guys back in terms of plugins? I think there's a lot of good plugins, but sometimes the plugins can hold you back because you have too many options. Sometimes you just got to have a nice set of go-to tools that like the back of the hand, like that spoon, that fork, and that knife that you can just depend on every time. You know how to use that tool, you know how to use it, and sometimes you can use it in a different way. As ridiculous as it sounds, sometimes people drink like a soup with like a fork, or they make it work, or they just eat rice with a spoon or rice with a fork, or some people just know how to cut up a piece of steak with just a fork alone, just like, no knife, so everybody's different, your approach and the way you do it, but you have to find something that works for you individually. So what do you feel like are your strengths and weaknesses in terms of making music? Because everybody's strengths and weaknesses are different. You know what I mean? Maybe you know how to really mix, but your vocal performances are a little bit off. Maybe your vocal performances are on point, but when it's time to like go in the DAW and spice it up and just maximize what's already there, add that little bit of extra seasoning, you kind of fall flat. You know what I mean? So everybody is different. So what do you think is making your music sound bad? Is it the speakers? Is it the plugins? Is it the microphone? Maybe sometimes you also need like a hardware chain. Maybe you need a preamp and a compressor. I used to always like resent the analog equipment because I had a bad experience with it. I didn't think for me it was making much of a difference. I had a LA3A, I had NE 542, I had West Audio, I had tube compressors, I had a bunch of different shit, and I just felt like it never moved the goddamn needle for me. And I always felt like the songs that people sent me went analog hardware and never moved the needle. Like, they would send me a song recorded on a vintage LA2A. I don't work with Avalons, and I just always felt like, it's a good piece of barbecue ribs, but it depends what type of sauce you're gonna put on the ribs to maximize the flavor, of the stuff. But it does make a difference though, because in the recording process, when you feel good about yourself, that gets a better performance. And when you have the best performance, you have to do less work to make it sound good. So maybe that's what you guys are lacking. Maybe you just need like a nice ass vocal chain. Maybe you should invest in that. A nice ass vocal chain that's just gonna make you feel good. Then you just have a very simple vocal template. You don't use too many plugins. You got a handful of plugins that you know how to use, and you get the best out of your voice, right? So let me know down below how you guys feel about these discussion videos, these one-on-one studio talks when we talk about, how to improve your voice. And I give some of my own personal stories about, how I went through it, trying to understand how to get, the best possible pro sound, because that's what we all chasing. We all chasing perfection. You know, that great feeling, that feeling of confidence that you know you can put your shit out and you can stand on your shit and you can bump your shit and play your shit in the car at max volume and you feel great about it, you know, and show the world, you know, express your story. All right. So thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check the videos down below. Check the links down below to support the channel. Appreciate y'all now. Peace.